All right, everybody, welcome. Thank you for jumping on. Second week in a row here with Mr. Ryan Chamberlin. We are running to New Orleans. Got Ryan here to follow up. Last week kicked off with some extremely powerful nuggets, some base layers, if you will, of what's to come in the next 7 weeks. He's got some exciting things to announce tonight. We did a little contest. We're going to share some results of that contest tonight. Really quick, here's just my thought. If you don't have a notebook, physical, digital, I got my notes from last week in here. Physical notebook, digital notebook, whatever you're doing. If you don't have it, hurry and go get it. Grab a pen. Make sure that you are ready, because you may not write anything down that Ryan shares on the screen, but I guarantee you, if you are plugged in and paying attention, that you will have something hit you, an epiphany, an aha, an answer that you've been searching for. You'll see something differently, something that will hit you right here. Got to get taller right there. And that's the thing that's important, not necessarily the words on the screen that Ryan might have there, right? Those principles are awesome, but it's really what hits you here and here that's going to matter and help you move to the next level, help you do the thing the next hard thing that comes tomorrow and through the week to be able to hit your goals. So that said, I'm going to give you all the time that we can here. We'll finish up right at 7 o'clock if we can, Ryan. With that, my friend, the rest of the time is yours.
Awesome. Blake, thanks for having me again. We're excited. This is week 2, everybody. So we got to know each other last week. If you weren't here last week, I want to encourage you to grab the recording. That link is circulating out there. It was text out. I'll share my screen in a little bit. And those of you that are brand new and you're not receiving text, we'll let you know how to do that. But welcome, everybody. And we're excited to be part of this 8-week session. This is week 2. So we got a lot to cover, short period of time. Last week, we covered what you're going to get out of this 8 weeks. And of course, one of the big things that I talked about was this is a take action 8 weeks. This isn't sit back and learn and let's wait till the end of the 8 weeks to apply what we learned. This is every week we're driving, we're creating momentum. We're taking our businesses to the next level. And I'm looking over in the chat here, Blake, and I'm just seeing, man, we have people from all over. I bet all 50 states are represented here tonight, it feels, and beyond. So we've got a great group. It's continuing to grow. There's probably people sitting with multiple people watching screens, so no telling how many people are watching tonight and how many will watch the recording. So we're gonna roll into it. We talked about momentum. I spoke about moving the marbles. So if you missed that, you wanna learn what that means, because you'll hear me referring to moving marbles from one jar to another to help set you financially free. The marbles will help you do that. We then introduced a scorecard and an accountability program, which you'll hear some cool things tonight on that. We covered posture, and I introduced the beginning of the 7 laws, law number 1. And so we're really going to jump right in and continue on with lesson 1. This is law number 1. It's based from the book Now You Know. And so many of you have that book. If not, there's ways to get the audio recording. And I told Blake we would get that out, just allow people to have access to that. But this is law number 1. These are 7 laws, 7 things that I really had trouble with as I built my organizations over a 25-year period, in early years of trying to figure things out, struggling, learning how to just begin building teams. I mean, everyone on the screen tonight, you're really just 2 teams away. Even if you have nothing going on, you're 2 teams away, and you're going to meet enough people over the next 6 to 12 months to build a few teams. But these different laws, beginning with law of the first impression, are going to play a big role for you and the people that join your team. So this all simply says people do business with people they know, like, and trust. So we started talking about that last week. Another reason to watch the recording. I'm going to continue on with it. Now, if you're brand new, screenshot this, send the text RUN, the letters RUN, to one of these numbers, depending on wherever you're at and depending on where you're watching this from, and you will receive text messages, reminders, and the scorecard link, along with whatever else that needs to be pushed out to you that given week. So screenshot this. This is a way to stay connected with the group. And let's cover our first scorecard. This is an accountability. This is for people that want to perform at a higher level. So I want to kind of go through this. I don't want it to be confusing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I want you to take notice to last week's numbers. And I say last week's numbers because we kind of did a test week before the first week with the group of the leaders, and they submitted their numbers. A much smaller group of about 160 participants did this. And what these three numbers represent, we will be talking about a lot because they represent how many invitations took place, how many presentations. So that test week with the first 160 participants, we had 582 invitations that were logged, 281 presentations, and 69 people joined one way or another, whether as a customer, member, someone ready to build the business. 69 joined the 7K world. So that was exciting. I also asked a question to that group, how many were already planning on being in New Orleans? We're going to talk about that all 8 weeks. We had 100 out of 160. So we're kind of working on the other 60. We want everybody to come. If you're participating, you want momentum, you want to go ahead and make that commitment to be there. It's going to show, it really will, you'll perform at a different level knowing what you're committed to 90, 120 days out than if you're not committed to it. So that's it. But I'm excited to deliver our official full week with those that participated last Wednesday in the kickoff class. So let me tell you what happened last week. We had 1,287 logged invitations just from the group that participated. Not all of you participated, by the way. You'll see that number. I want to encourage more of you to click the link, the scorecard link, and drive hard this week so that you can really focus on your numbers showing up on the screen. This is a team effort. We're creating momentum together. And when we do things together, it happens in a bigger way. There were 437 presentations that took place out of those invitations. That's powerful, everybody. There were 72 new members that came out of it, resulting in a 16.4% ratio. I'm going to come back to that 16.4 because we always talk about the 80-20 rule. I want to share with you what that means, but that's what happened last week, just in the past 7 days. Now, here's our totals. If you added up the 2 weeks, which I will keep adding up over the 8 weeks, we're at a 19.6 joining ratio. People that have seen the presentation, right at 20% just within we're just getting started, everybody. Wait till you hear what I'm about to tell you. And you're going to get that belief. Your belief's going to grow. Those of you that haven't been putting numbers on the scoreboard, you're going to want to start doing it so that you can participate in momentum, because you can only participate in the momentum if you're putting numbers on the board. That's the way it works. So this week we jumped almost 100 more participants. We had 253 people logged their scorecard. So that lets me know just in this group. Now there's lots more across the 7K world building a business, that's for sure. But you're honed in on this accountability program of what we're doing here, kicking this year off. Our New Orleans numbers jump. Here's what's good. We got 155 now that have said they're going to New Orleans just out of this group. There are going to be lots more go. But look at these other two numbers. 55 said, no, I don't think I'm going yet. I'm not going to pick on you too bad yet. 43 said, I'm still thinking about it. So the 43 that are thinking about it, let's go ahead and make that decision to go to New Orleans. It's going to make a huge difference. That's why you're here. And the 55 that have said no, I want to encourage you to think about how you could say yes, how you could be there if you wanted to bad enough. And we'll just leave it at that for this week. But our numbers are growing. We want to we got a packed house tonight, everybody. And we had to go to webinar so that, we can keep this going. You can still invite your team members, your new team members, to join in, because they can go back and watch the recordings and they can jump right in with what we're doing here to get their businesses launched. Now, check this out. Here's what I want you to pay attention to with this scorecard, and I'll spend a little bit of time on it tonight. But look at the numbers. Out of 718 presentations that have happened in the last less than 14 days, 141 new members. That means there's 577 people that can still be followed up with. Here's what that tells me from my experience. When you get good at following up with people, many of you are, we're already at almost a 20% sign-up ratio. This group right here is about to blow past the 80-20 rule just with what we've already done. Because some of those let's just say 10% of those 577, so 90% of them don't do it. There's still another 58 people going to be joining your team just out of the work we did in the last little bit with this small group. So we've got to understand how these numbers work. And it's why I do this exercise with you, to help you get excited about the numbers. The numbers is what's going to set you free, everybody. Moving the marbles, getting on the scoreboard, you participating is what's going to help you do this. So each week you'll see me adding the numbers on the screen. We're going to fill out all 8 weeks. There's going to be thousands and thousands of invitations. There's going to be people, individuals that are participating here. Your incomes that if really participating, you're going to see them start to jump up over the next 8 weeks. Now, let's hit a few things here. Here's our top 10 presenters for the week. Now, I'm giving you the top, I think there's 8 on here because everyone here in the top 10, there were 2 that tied, did at least 6 or more presentations in the last 7 days. Great job, everybody. We had lots of people log presentations, but these were our top 10. So congratulations to Charlotte Brown, Jason Hathaway, Kyle Arnold, Alicia Kaufman, Gary Capps, Stephanie Shirley, Daniel Roy, Michael Walker. Congratulations to everybody. Keep up the great work. You're on a path to create major momentum. You're leading by example. And everybody that did a presentation or attempted, I want to congratulate you. You're putting your numbers on the board. This week, we gave out first access to coin drop of choice to 3 people. And these are our top 3 presenters. They all signed people up. They all moved some serious marbles, everybody. Here they are. Congratulations. Kim Mulatto, Tina Horlatcher, and Wayne Clark was our top presenter this week. And he was also the top person that signed up. He signed up the most amount of people this week out of all 250 something that logged. So you kind of goes hand in hand. You do the most presentations many times, you sign up the most people. So that was our first week. Congrats. I see people giving thumbs up here. We got the chat room going on in a big way. Everybody give a hand clap, put something over in the chat room, congratulating this group of the top 10 presenters. We are excited. Yep. Russell, I agree with you. Great job. Great job. Great job. Great job. Give them high fives. I see thumbs up, hearts, everything going everywhere. Next Wednesday, we're going to do another top 3 giveaway. So I want you to log. This is compliments of 7K, corporate, Blake and team, everybody. We're going to give out $50 of free merch from the 7K gear site to the top 3 presenters. So we want to move some marbles. We want to make some things happen. Everybody get on the board. And if you're not a top presenter, guess what? You can still become financially free. Just put numbers on the board. So put numbers on the board. Let's grow this thing and let's create momentum together. Next piece I want to give you here is I did a little survey with the information that went out, and it reveals some things that will help you in this next 7 more weeks. Ask questions. Basically, I asked a survey, what were the top 3 things that you would like to improve in, that you feel like you'd like to improve in your business? And I asked, would you like to improve on how to build a list, how to contact people, how to present people, how to follow up, how to close, how to launch, how to stay focused? Now, I just want to give you a little bit of detail so that you know everybody's dealing with the same stuff. We're all learning together. We're growing together. We're all becoming financially free together, so to speak. The number 1 challenge that everybody logs, 61% of you, either the top 1, 2, or 3 things you'd like to improve on is contacting people. How do we contact people? This is the number 1 challenge. This is where it all begins, everybody. So I don't want you to think you're alone. Out of the 250 people that participated, more than half of you, so what's that? More than 125, maybe 135, 140, listed this as an area they want to improve. And here's what I want to tell you. When you improve this area, your confidence goes up, you'll be contacting more, and you'll set yourself financially free quicker. But as long as this is a hang up in your mind, you won't move forward as fast as you can. So we want to overcome that. And we're going to give some tips tonight. Closing was the number 2 challenge that people say, I want to learn how to close more sales. These are all learnable things, everyone. And my point tonight is this is going to help you. You knowing this, it's going to help you overcome these things, because this is really what's stopping you from being financially free. And it shouldn't be, because it can all be learned. We don't want to have excuses. We want to just to attack these things, get good at them, go practice, move marbles. Follow-up was the number 3 challenge. And guess what? The number 4 challenge was focus. So most people didn't really have a problem with doing presentation. Why? Because we got a video that could probably do that for you. So if you learn how to contact, you can kind of learn how to play the video. And then if you learn how to close a sale and follow up with people, you kind of got it in, I mean, you can take that to the bank, right? Staying focused, I will say, if you can stay focused on these top three things that we're all learning together, this is what separates you from being financially free or being a top producer. So let's jump in. We got about 15 minutes to give you some deep dive stuff that'll help you. And I want to talk about your list. This wasn't one of the top concerns of people, but I want to reveal just a couple of quick things to you that can actually improve your contacting, your closing, and your follow-up. And it begins with how you think about who you want on your team. So I have an exercise where, I want to help people define what I call the perfect prospect. Now, not everybody's perfect. You don't want to hold back. You don't want to not contact everybody you know. Don't get me wrong on that. You just want to process this and differently maybe than what you're processing. And you can make his instant shifts here because there's really not that many things people need to learn how to do to be very successful in building a 7K business. People need to learn how to set some goals. If you don't have any goals, you can't go somewhere you don't see. So we learn how to set some goals. This could be very simple. Goal to make 1,000 a month, a goal to hit a certain level, a goal to help other people hit certain levels. Now, we're going to be adding a new dynamic to even, Blake and I were talking about just more dynamics of goals, early goals, things that we can help people focus on. And you'll see me implement that in as we go down this path over the next 7 or 8 weeks. But people need to learn how to build a list. People need to learn how to invite, present, follow through, launch new people, promote things, and teach people this system. There's 8 things that I feel like if you master these, which it's not that difficult, that's really, you can build a massive organization right here, this year, 2023, doing these things. So if these things are that simple, then how come everyone doesn't do them? Or how come we can teach people exactly how to do them? And I want to give you some thoughts here as you're out prospecting. And we know that if we did a few meetings per week over the next couple of years, or even 4 meetings a week over the next 4 months or 12 months, we could move a few hundred marbles doing the things that are up there. Most people would say, yeah, I believe if I could do these things for the next year pretty consistently, I'd probably have 2 teams growing fast. Everybody believes that. So we have to ask ourselves, maybe why aren't we going after it heavy enough? And I want to help you learn some things here. So these are the basic skills needed. So how do we go build a list? Now, as I've traveled the country for several decades, I've asked questions, and I ask it like this. Imagine yourself having 2 big organizations right now, thriving, having a big business. How would you define, and you were able to look down in that business and you were able to see leadership within your 2 big teams, massive teams that you're building. I want to ask you right now, what would be the qualities of what you would consider a leader in your organization to have if they're going to build a big business? What are those qualities? And all across, I've asked this hundreds of times, hundreds of audiences, I will have them kind of yell back at me different things that I write them on a board, or I write them and we write them down. And together we define really who is someone we believe that could excel in this business, in your 7K business. And these are the words that generally pop up. Somebody needs to be trustworthy. Okay, if we can't trust them, they're probably not going to have a good time building a business. Nobody's going to follow them, right? They need to be coachable. So if there's a leader in our organization, a quality of a great leader in a 7K business, they would be a coachable person. Maybe they're self-motivated. Maybe they're teachable. Probably if they're not teachable, the chances are they're not going to succeed here. Focused. Well, the opposite of focused. If someone's not focused in life and business, chances are they're not going to be focused here. So this quality has to be there for them to succeed. Consistency, committed, likable, burning desire. I see this. Dennis said burning desire. So all of these things, we can list a bunch of them. And my point to you is most of you already know what a leader is going to look like that would show up in your business. Yet many times we're going after people that are not focused, they're not consistent, they're not committed, they're not even likable. We don't even like them, but we're chasing them. They're not teachable. Or maybe it's two or three of these things. And here's what I want to tell you. Everything on the left side of my screen, anybody can do. But it's the right side of my screen that makes everything on the left side work better. Now, again, this doesn't mean you don't make a list of everybody you know, but it allows you to not get frustrated as you're building your business when someone that's not teachable or someone that's not self-motivated, lazy people that choose not to join your team shouldn't bother you, because it's highly likely that a lazy person, even though the skills on the left side of the screen are something anybody can do, they're not going to do it, no matter how easy it is. Or they're not going to, if they're not focused, they're not. So we want to begin to, as we live life, to learn to not only become the things that are on the right side of the screen, because as we become more trustworthy, more coachable, more self-motivated, more teachable, focused, consistent, committed, everything that we do in 7K becomes magnified to its greatest potential. And so it's the qualities on the right that we're looking for, we're identifying for, and this allows us to not waste time with people that are doing the things that we know. I mean, we can help them. They're part of our team. We can help them grow. But we've got, if we're going to build a big business, everybody, we've got to go spend our time wisely. We're sifting and sorting. We're looking for the best people, the people with the qualities. We're on the right side of the screen to help us build big businesses. And we need to possess these qualities to attract these qualities. Let me give you a few more items tonight as we wind down the last 10 minutes. The law of the first impression says people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And I want to tell you this. Here's my experience for most of you on the screen. You may have a good list, but kind of most of you may not. Building a new list of people over the next few weeks to few months, and then continuing to grow that list. Building a new list of 100 or more people may be the only thing you need to do to create a catalyst for you and your business. Some of you are trying to hammer an old list, or trying to hammer people that may or may not have the qualities you even want to be in business with, because it's easier to call people maybe that you have influence over. And I want to challenge you to build your list with the best people you come in contact with the people that have the qualities. Learn how to communicate with them. It's really the same amount of effort, maybe even less effort, because people that have the qualities on the right side of the screen, they'll talk to you a little bit different. I mean, who wants to be in business with somebody that won't return your call anyway, right? Who wants to be in business with someone that you don't want to be in business with? So building a new list and going after that list over the next 7 weeks with what we're learning may set you in full-blown motion for the rest of this year. But it takes a commitment to do this. And when we're talking about the first 30 seconds, I want to end the last 6 or 7 minutes here teaching you about some things to say and things not to say. See, the first 30 seconds matters. When you begin to connect with someone, when you begin to share your 7K business, when you begin to start that conversation, they're going to sense whether or not you believe in what you're talking about. And there's 3 things your prospect's thinking. One, they're saying, how well do I know this person? And why should I listen? Now, if you've known them for 20 years, that's an easy one. But if you just met them yesterday, how well do I know this person? Why should I listen? Do I even like this person? And do I trust what this person's saying to me? We want to be conscious of these things. Not that it's going to take us a year to get here. It might only take us 24 hours or less to get, but we have to begin our journey. It's why we teach things like how to have a conversation with somebody. Family, occupation, recreation message. You've all heard it. I'm not teaching you something you haven't heard. But the art of connecting with people properly before you start pitching them is what sets the tone for whether or not you're ever going to be successful in this style business or not. Some of you are jumping to the pitch, I'm trying to get you into business with me too quickly before you establish rapport. And this is something important. And so first impression killers, let me give you a few things. Sometimes people get excited and they'll say things on the phone, in messaging, text, or in face-to-face. They'll use words like business opportunity or got involved with. And these are just examples. You've probably got your own. I'll make a point. I've learned this many, many years ago. When I called somebody and said, hey, Ryan, or hey, John, hey, Wayne, I got a business opportunity I ran across. I want to run it by you. When do you have, a few minutes? I haven't even got to what I want to talk about, and they've already started shutting me down. Why? Because they've been contacted by 17 different people about business opportunities, and they don't even know why they're rejecting what I'm about to say. But I pitched the first 30 seconds, I hit them wrong. Or, hey, Wayne, I just got involved in something I would like to share with you. It's an innocent statement, but most people don't pay attention to the words they use. I know I didn't early on. And when you say things like, hey, I just got involved in something, you don't realize it, but we're implying that we're trying to get someone else in. The other party is thinking, well, they're about to try to get me involved in something, and they start putting up walls. And so you can't even get to the presentation. You can't really even go further because the first 30 seconds you're getting shut down. And I want to help a few of you unlock. I want you to maybe, if all we do tonight is become aware of the first sentence or two that's setting the tone, it will make a huge difference in helping us set more presentations. A lot of us are doing too much selling. We're trying to talk people into things. We're trying to beg them, plead them, or give them too much detail too soon. And we've got to learn how to hold that back to let the video, the presentation, do the Zooms, do the selling for us. We've got to. And the better you get at this, the more money you'll end up making. Some of us think we're social media gurus. We start posting weird stuff. We start acting weird. We start talking in a way that's weird. And I want you to think about social media as not a way to pitch 7K, but a way to connect with people so that you can move that online conversation to an offline conversation. Learning to strategically have conversation, the forum conversation online, the know, like, and trust conversation online that ultimately leads to a transition that will help you open up into a 7K conversation. So we're jumping to the sell too quick. See, in the beginning, the goal is not to try to get them to sign up. The goal is to get them to take a look. The goal is to get people to take a look. So a lot of people are jumping to the sells. Replace with these few words. Let me give you a few minutes of this. Things like idea, things like project, things like opinion. Hey, Wayne, it's Ryan. Listen, I've got a business idea I want to run by you. Can we grab a cup of coffee tomorrow? Hey, Wayne, I'm working on a project right here. You may or may not be, interested, but I'd like to get your opinion on it. These type of words, learning how to use them properly keeps people, you'll find almost everybody will be more receptive. Very few people will think you're trying to get them into something. So it's casual, calm way. This is my stuff. There's lots of different ways of teaching out there. The way that I'm teaching you is something that has worked very well for me and worked well for literally lots and lots of people I've worked with, because it's more of a natural conversation that leads to people wanting to quickly know what you have, but most people are not doing this properly in the first few seconds. Hey, Wayne, listen, I've ran across an idea. I'd like to get your opinion on it. There's some timing to it. Could we get together for coffee tonight? Or could you jump on a Zoom at 7:00 this evening? See, these opening statements, or what I call transition statements to set appointments, is what creates the first impression. And we're only talking about within the first 60 seconds or 30 seconds of you working with people. Now, if you're having a good conversation with someone, and I've only got a few minutes left, so here we go. Oftentimes you want to really think through what you're saying to them, or what they're saying to you. You want to be listening to what they're saying to you. A lot of people will tell you why building a 7K business is the answer for them. Hey, I need to take more vacations. I have no retirement account. I have zero passive income. You could easily come back to anyone that expresses something you believe 7K is a solution to and say, listen, Wayne, I'd like to get your opinion on something. I can't promise you anything, but based on what you told me yesterday, I may have a solution for that problem. Can we grab a cup of coffee? See, now you got their interest. Now you got their curiosity. Now you got them kind of hooked on what is it that you want to talk to them about. Now, next week, I'm going to talk to you really about what happens if they begin to interact with you, start asking a lot of questions. That often happens. And we're going to enter into lesson 2. I'll give you a little bit more and go into what I call the law of staying in control. How do we stay in control? Once we begin to set up the presentation, we invite, we begin to set the presentation. How do we stay in control of this process to secure that, to get more presentations, to move more marbles, to do the things that you guys are asking, how do I do? You asked, how do I do this? I'm teaching you how to do it. So what do we do this week? Last slide of the night. We're going to move some marbles. Remember, this is action. We're going to learn how to set up some meetings like we did tonight. Like I taught you tonight, learn to use some of these words. Hopefully you wrote them down. Hopefully you can practice them. You're going to see some changes, but you got to make the phone calls. We got to set the appointments. We want to fill out our scorecard next Tuesday or by Wednesday at the latest. You'll get a text reminder. We'll be on point this next week. We got it out this week and hundreds of you participated. If you didn't, please participate. These are the things you do. Move your own marbles, fill out your scorecard, and then as new people join your team or people that need your help, you help your team. Now, just don't go this week and just go help your team. You're going to help your team, but you got to move your own marbles, fill the scorecard, put some numbers on the board, ladies and gentlemen. Let's create momentum together. Let's have a bigger week than we had this past week. God bless. Blake, back to you, my friend.
Oh, man, that was awesome. And how concise, by the way. That timing. Nice work. That's a lot of content to get through. Nice work. Okay. If you guys need to jump off because we promised half hour, but I got two quick things to add. So if you want to hang around, you're more than welcome to. But if you got to jump off, no big deal. Two things struck me during this. So pretty cool. Somebody was saying in the chat earlier about, you were showing about know, like, and trust, right? Know, like, and trust. Well, it was pretty awesome because today I go to a local grocery store, and this grocery store it's like a boutique grocery store, and it's got a bunch of lunch items, right? So I'm in there and I'm trying to figure out what I want to eat and trying to make a decision. And this guy notices that I'm doing that, and he's kind of doing the same thing. And all of a sudden he says to me, man, too many options to be able to decide, right? I'm like, yeah, right? So we start this conversation. Next thing I know, he's introducing himself. Next thing I know, he's asking me what I do. Next thing I know, he's asking me if I'm open to a business opportunity, right? And I'm like, dude, he has no idea that like I can't even do his business, right? I'm not interested. He had no idea. We got to that point and I said, hey, this is what I do. I'm actually, there's no way I could even do it, but that dude was out there doing the work, and it was a natural conversation. He didn't pitch me right away. Now, there are some things that he could have done better though. This is what's cool. So, and this is what you're going to learn next week about staying in control. He started that conversation out beautifully. Like I was in it. I was, I didn't have the time, but he engaged me enough that I was like, hey, okay, I'll talk to you, cool dude. And then all of a sudden, like he probably moved a little bit too fast into, like, I found out really quickly what he was doing. So I dissected everything, and he got to a no in the grocery store. And in my opinion, now, what I do know is that, like, I gave my number, said, look, let's go to lunch, man. I love building relationships because that's the game I'm in, right? And if he's smart, that's the game he's in too. But at the end of and he's just a cool dude. I want to get to know him. But he probably moved too quick. And so next week you'll learn how to not move too quick, where he could have left it in a place where I would have been like, yeah, send me the information. I'll look at it, right? And he could have taken some more time and built a better relationship before ever really showing me what it was, right? But kudos to that guy. I love that I had that experience today. I love it. Number 2, someone else said, my warm market won't listen, or I'm already through my warm market. That's why you're here. That's what you're learning, right? That's what Ryan is teaching us. It made me think about, so I had Guys, this business is no different than any other business. You have to get customers, right? You have to get customers to be successful. And when I was in college, my buddy says, "Hey, let's start a lawn mowing business." And I'm like, "I'm really busy, but okay, let's do it. That's cool, right?" And so we go do that. So who do you think we went to first? Friends and family. How many of those people said yes? Not very many, because they're like, "Do you guys even know how to mow a lawn professionally?" They knew our background, right? So we got a couple people to say yes to get enough momentum. But after that, we were on our own. It was cold marketing, right? And we had bought a mower. We had bought, like, we had real money at stake as college kids, and we had to go figure out how to get new customers. Guys, this is no different. Some of you are blessed with a bigger warm market. Some of you are not. That's okay. The difference is just maybe how fast you might be able to get an ignition switch going. But at the end of the day, the runway is really, really long. And so stick with us here, have the patience, because that is what you'll continue to learn over the next 7 weeks or 6 weeks, right? Is to make sure that you can understand how to start moving into the next market, and the market that you don't know yet, right? And Ryan, you can add some things.
Yeah, let me just say this too, because I think a lot of people would feel some of what everything you just said was great, but a lot of times we confuse our warm market with our hot market.
True.
And I want to say this, a warm market can be somebody you met yesterday. If you've had that, if you've connected with them properly, if you've had a pre-7K conversation with them, it's all before we get to 7K stuff that the warming happens. Most of my career, the majority of the people that I sponsored, after the first few months you join something or anything, or you're participating, you've kind of gone through that hot market, and you kind of feel that way. So you've got to have regular conversations with new people you're constantly adding to that warm market. So even if your warm market's gone right now, over the next few months, you could easily add 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people. That's why I always say you're going to meet enough people to build a few teams over the next 6 to 12 months. What I mean by that is you're going to come across people that you have an opportunity to engage with and take them from cold to warm. It'll be up to you if you decide to. For me, I had to get out of my nerves. I had to overcome some, personal hangups. But once I did it a few times, it became a normal habit. Now just as a way of doing things. So, Blake, I wanted to throw that in. Great additions to what we're talking about. Everybody here can build 2 teams. Everybody here can build more than that, but you can build 2 teams. It may look difficult to you now, but all that means is there's just a couple of little shifts that we're going to help you uncover. You got to do the work to really, but you got to uncover. It'll be up to you to make it happen, but we want to help you uncover that. Let's go do this together.
Amen. Thank you. That's perfect. Thank you, Ryan. So yes, everyone here tonight, we will send this link out again. Okay. We'll send this recording out. And so if you want to share it with your team, wherever else, you'll be able to do that. So thank you guys for jumping on, taking the time. Really appreciate it. Thank you again, Ryan, for jumping on this week.